What's up, everybody? I am here to talk to you a little bit today about a concept called hipster racism. I'm only about 6 years late on this topic, but it's a cool topic and I thought it would be something cool to inform you all about because I see it everywhere and it's ridiculous. So first off, what the hell am I talking about? What is hipster racism? It's been around since about 2006 and it was mentioned in an article by Carmen Van Kerckhove, and it's described as the use of irony or the use of satire to try to mask racism. Blatant racism. Like, I can say this because whatever, like, I'm gonna be like, black people like watermelon chicken, whatever, like, and it's funny because like it's not real or something, or I'm not racist and so it works. So the irony is established in the somewhat post-racial belief that blatant expression of genuine racism are no longer to be taken seriously and are somewhat of an outdated way of thinking. Thereby, the use of such overt expressions is satiric. Also, a lot of hipster racism manifests as misappropriation of cultural artifacts or cultural edifiers for different people, as use of irony, like, oh, aren't I cool, check out my Indian headdress, I'm hipster. Despite its ironic intent and context, hipster racism still appears to perpetuate prejudicial and racial ideologies. The difference between this and more harsh prejudicial sentiments is that it's kind of hid behind in this idea of, oh, it's cute or I'm beyond this. The style of speech is appropriate and relevant, but it's ingrained in the belief that this idea exists, and so it causes more harm. So the fact that you keep saying this stereotype still exists, even if you're joking, keeps the stereotype existing, which keeps stereotypes existing, which keeps holding people down, which keeps narrowing people into boxes. So, hipsters will tend to excuse their behavior or will say that they don't really have racist tendencies because racism doesn't exist, or because I'm just kidding. Like, it's funny, you know, it's funny. It's funny that I can hold these people down because it's not really me. I don't count. So the problem that we have in society is the idea is that we're in a post-racial society. Like, somehow race went away, right? So you hear the idea of like, well, I don't see color. You're like, well, that's interesting because first off, everybody else does, and second off, of course you see color because everybody sees color. Like, how do you just not see that like somebody's black? Like, how do you miss this? Like, you don't notice color. There is color. Color exists. It's part of the reason why the world's beautiful is because color's there. So the idea that we're beyond racism, or like people will be like, well, we have a black president, so everything's fine now. I don't understand where that comes from. So, people will do certain activities, like, you'll hear about, hipsters throwing a hip-hop mogul party, and everybody wears blackface, and they do it to kill the whiteness within themselves. First off, if you're thinking about wearing blackface, it's never okay. It's never a good idea. It's never cute and it's never funny. So just don't do it. Do something different. Just skip the blackface idea. It's not a good idea. All right? So if you're on the fence, no, Rowdy said so. Should be good enough. But they not only make fun of the entire hip-hop industry, which really matters and there's a huge culture there, but they also make fun of the greater black culture as a whole for the sake of their almighty sense of irony. You can see hipster irony manifest with a whole bunch of ways. I mean, who hasn't seen the pictures of all the white girls flashing the gang signs? Yeah, I'm cute! It's gang signs! Or the idea of recreational slumming. Oh my god, we went to this bar in the ghetto the other night and it was so scary. Aren't I cool? One, it's not scary. You're just in the ghetto. It's okay, I lived in the ghetto. You'll be fine. The idea that you can go recreational slumming and you're brave further perpetuates the idea that you, my friend, are probably a racist. And then the other thing that you'll see a lot of time is white people bagging on white people to prove that they're not stereotypical white people. That's not reverse racism, because there's no such thing as reverse racism. There's just racism. There's no reversal of it. Like, you can be racist against white people just as much as you can be racist against anybody. So there is no reversal. It's just plain old racism. Also, this manifests with misappropriation of native culture. Like, you'll see a hipster wearing a full Indian headdress, smoking like clove tobacco and a peace pipe with their friends. Or you'll see like a lot of stuff like an Urban Outfitters jacking Navajo, Aboriginal, African tribal prints. They'll do all these things while not even recognizing the culture it came from. So they don't even say like, oh, we got this pattern because it's been around forever. And then the other thing is they're making money off a pattern that they never even came up with. It's part of this indigenous people's heritage. And a lot of these people are living in developing nations and really could use the money. So, you know, the fact that you're proliferating this type of idea just makes it worse. So the big problem with this is people get this idea that they're beyond racism, or racism doesn't exist anymore. Beyond it, there is no such thing. Or if it doesn't exist, that I'm so cool and so hip and I'm so beyond racism myself, I'm excused and I get to make racist jokes, or I can be like, ha, that's gay, or I can invite all my friends to like the ultra masculine like blow shit up movie, and then don't invite girls because like, hee hee hee, isn't it cool that me and my friends are sexist? I don't get it. So what's interesting is they feel like they're beyond things, but they haven't done anything. And not only have they not done anything to stop racism, classism, sexism, whatever ism you want to add, they also don't want to learn anything because they feel like they know it all. Like, you can't learn something you know everything about. So you stay further in this locked, shitty mindset that doesn't get you anywhere. It also gives away a sense of privilege for them, or any accountability of what their power can provide for other people. So it completely takes all that stuff away. So it ignores really critical things that they could actually be doing with their power and privilege to make the world a better place. And gosh, I don't know about you, but I'd love to see the world be a little bit better of a place. So the other thing that's really difficult too is like the hipster in their idea of trying to neither be cool nor uncool, or trying to be hip or unhip at the same time. They never even commit to an idea, and so that you can't even pick a team between being on cool or uncool, or, you know, like for minorities and their issues, or against them because you're pushing against that stuff at the same time. You put yourself in this constant quasi-nothingness, like I can't be caught by my friends actually liking or caring about one damn thing because they'll give me a hard time about it. Like, because you don't exist in any one space, you don't have an identity. And this is part of the reason why you want to take other people's identities away, is because you don't feel like you have any core to you. Well, that makes sense because you're making fun of taking everybody else's like cultural, ethnic identity, heritage away. So they have no sense of self. They just have this aphorism of what they think they should be, so their friends don't give them shit. And so in this tragic dynamic of being neither cool nor uncool, you stand for nothing. And like the old saying goes, if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. And at the end of the day, like, it's not about being ironic, and it's not about being funny, it's not about being cool, because there's nothing ironic about being a dick. If you're being a dick, you're just a dick. And at the end of the day, like, you need to recognize people are in much worse situations and scenarios than you, and it's more, life is more about looking cool or impressing your friends. Like, what's really cool is knowing who the hell you are, and that will always be tragically, classically cool, because you know who you are, you stand for something, and you matter. The world would miss you if you were gone, and I'd love to see more people do that in the future. So that's Inclusive Activism's talk on hipster racism. Thank you for tuning in and listening to my 9-minute babble. If you have any questions or comments, I'm going to leave that open because I love discussion. So even if you think I'm a racist against hipsters, I'd love to hear about it. Let me know, and we'll have a wonderful dynamic conversation. That being said, have a good night.